Well, hello there, and welcome to this Townie Makeover video. Or should I say Townie Takeover? I feel like that's what I'm going to be doing in The Sims 3. I'll be picking some families from Sunset Valley, making them over, and also be playing a day in the life of. So make sure you stay tuned for that video. So today I'm starting my Townie Makeover with the Landgraab family. I think if you've been watching my Pearson Legacy Challenge, the expansion pack Legacy Challenge, you'll know that my founder, Angela, she's got a little thing for Geoffrey Landgraab. And to be honest, I can't blame her in terms of his personality, but in terms of his face, he really needed some help. So that's why the Landgraab family were the first on my hit list to have a Townie makeover. So I'm starting off with Geoffrey Landgraab, just trying to make him look less ugly. That's going to be my main mission for the Townie makeovers. I'm not a great, sim creator, so as long as I can just make them less ugly and a little bit more tolerable when I'm doing the actual recordings of my episodes, that's all I want. That's all I'm looking for. And I remember when I first saw when I first saw Geoffrey in the game, I was a little bit shocked. I did not think he was attractive at all. So I tried to level him up a little bit, upgrade him. So he's a little bit more attractive. He's not as zaddy, but he's getting there. He's getting there. Not Malcolm, Geoffrey. I'm gonna get muddled up continuously. I don't know why I do that. But Malcolm, yeah, he's a good guy. As you can see right now, he's actually in his career outfit. He is a doctor in The Sims 3. He plays a gene therapist, I think is his level. I have to admit, when I was doing these Townie makeovers for the Landgraab, I was getting confused with their Sims 4 persona versus their Sims 3 persona. So in The Sims 3, Geoffrey, actually to be fair, I think in Geoffrey in The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 is a pretty docile character, pretty chilled. His character traits, he is family oriented, he's got a good sense of humor, he's charismatic, he loves the outdoors, and he's a hopeless romantic. He's literally got all the great traits. He seems like such a good guy on paper. And so, yeah, Nancy's very lucky to have him, I think. As you can see, I'm giving him a very gentlemanly styled makeover. He's there in his sweater and his tie. I see Geoffrey Landgraab definitely as a gentleman. Well, the Sims 3 version. I haven't really played with the Sims 4 version, so I can't really comment too much. But yeah, I just tried to make him look nice and yet still professional. We have to remember that the Landgraabs, they're definitely one of the socialite families of Sunset Valley. So even his everyday wear has to look pretty good. So one of the things about Geoffrey is his lifetime wish. I find that really strange in comparison to obviously his career. Obviously he's a doctor, he's in the medical career, but his lifetime wish is to be an illustrious author. So I think that's maxing out the painting skill and maxing out the writing skill. And so it's quite different, I suppose, when you've got somebody whose everyday job is science, and then I guess in their spare time, they've got all this creative energy that they want to expel. So I don't know, in my mind, if I was playing with the Landgraabs, I think I would definitely try and max out his career and then just make him retire early. And then he can focus on his lifetime wish afterwards. So as you can see, I am quickly done. I gave him a bathrobe. Again, I think it's pretty posh in terms of his sleepwear, and I gave him this sort of geometric pattern for his male swimwear. And overall, I really like his style. I didn't change his athletic wear. He's formal, it's just black tie, very simple. And I like the makeover that I gave him. Very simple and just Geoffrey, very classic and gentlemanly. So that's sort of what I was going for when it comes to Geoffrey. So now we'll move on to Nancy Landgraab. Nancy. She, for me, I think was definitely a little bit of a head turner. And I have to admit, in The Sims 3, Nancy isn't a bad sim. I think in The Sims 4, because she's in the criminal career, you definitely get that sense that, you know, she works with dirty money, and that's how the Landgraabs have gotten rich, by, you know, doing all these type of undercover activities, I suppose. But Sims 3, Nancy, she's very much, in my mind, a Southern belle, you know, born into wealth, born into family, you know, a prominent family, and wanting to keep that sort of family name. Whilst I was giving her a makeover, I found it really hard. I didn't want to make her too pretty. I have to remember that both her and Geoffrey were adults. They're not young adults. So I gave her this updo that you see. I think I still maybe go back and forth, but because she originally has an updo, I wanted to keep her with another updo. When I make over my Sims, especially when I'm making over the Townies, I really like to give them kind of the same style, essentially. I want you to recognize that and say, oh yes, that's a Nancy Lab. Can't talk. I want you to recognize and say, you know what, yes, that is Nancy Landgraab by her style. You know, so her style was definitely very conservative. I think in some of the outfits she's wearing like a pearl necklace. Definitely, I was thinking Southern belle, born into wealth and privilege. I remember thinking of, I don't know if you ever watched Revenge. It used to come on ABC in America, and I think Channel 4 and E4 in the UK. And I was thinking like Victoria Grayson, I think, is the main woman. You know, Nancy is the socialite of the town. If you were Nancy's friend, like, you would be so happy because she's the belle of the ball, as it were, when it comes to Sunset Valley. I find it really interesting that, you know, she's in the business career, she's a vice president, and of course her lifetime wish is to be a CEO of a mega corporation. Her traits are that she's a workaholic, which I think is actually quite good. It means that she works hard. She's a snob, which speaks for itself. She's very ambitious, she's charismatic, and she's a perfectionist. So she actually hasn't got very negative traits like you might think, apart from the snob one. But the snob makes sense. When you're born into money, you have, you know, I think maybe a more expensive taste. And then people who perhaps don't have that money would, of course, think you're a snob. So that's very much her personality. I have to admit, when I played A Day in the Life of Nancy Landgraab, can I say that? Did I say that right? Nancy Landgraab. I have to admit, I really sort of fell in love with her character and who she is. And, you know, she wants to be almost like the Stepford housewife. That sort of, Stepford housewife who also works, I suppose. You know, she wants to have it all. And I find her rivalry with the Altos really funny. I love that rivalry. And the fact that her and Nick Alto are in the same career, the same job level, and they both hate each other, which means it's both damaging their progress in their careers, because you have to be friends with your co-workers. But I could just see Nancy saying, over my dead body, I will never be friends with someone like Nick Alto. So I think I'm probably gonna do the Altos next, because I want to go back to their backstory and find out a little bit more about them. So I really like the everyday outfit that I put on Nancy. It's a nice pencil skirt and a nice shirt, very loose, and it's very much what I would expect from someone like Nancy Landgraab, or how I perceive her to be. So when I was looking back and trying to go through the family tree, I think I noted, and I also read on Wiki, I love a good random Sims Wiki, that Nancy's mum actually died early. She died, I think, in a fire, if I can remember correctly, but her dad died of old age, and her dad was not a pleasant character. I think he had the evil trait and the mean trait, which is why I think there's definitely that affiliation with the Landgraabs and a negative aura about them. You know, they might not be good people, so to speak. And so, I found that really interesting. And when you're looking at Nancy, I quite like this outfit as well. This is her formal outfit there with her pearls, her pattern skirts. Again, a very conservative outfit. For her sleepwear, I put her in a nice, I still keep the robe, but just in a different pattern. Again, I don't know, in my head, all posh rich people have bathrobes. That's their nightwear, you know, and when they get into bed, that's when they'll take it off and have whatever they have underneath. So I I both her and Geoffrey in bathrobes. I don't know why. I think that's just what I have in my head. I didn't switch her sportswear. I definitely think it's very much, again, I was thinking very much Stepford housewife. Just, you know, the typical sweats, joggers, and even the color combo. I just thought, yeah, this is definitely Nancy Landgraab. I really didn't want to change it. Again, you know, when I do the Townie makeovers, I definitely want to keep the same characters. I'm not doing a transformation of the Sims. So yeah, I definitely wanted to keep that. And I also made over her career outfit as well to put her in a nice business suit. Very feminine, but I still think quite powerful. I think it's kind of old school as well. It reminds me of Margaret Thatcher for some reason. If you don't know who she was, Margaret Thatcher was a prime minister, the first female prime minister of the UK. You guys are going to learn so much. I just talk about so much random things when I'm doing these videos. But here we are having a final look at all of Nancy's outfits. I think I do just adjust the colors a little bit more to make it more palatable. But yeah, very much a housewife sports outfit who she probably only does yoga in it or something, and a really nice swimsuit also. And so that sums up my review of Nancy, or my account of Nancy. So next up we have little Malcolm Landgraab. I have to admit, I got confused when I was making over Malcolm as well, because he's got the good traits. And I was thinking of Malcolm in The Sims 2, who's evil. Then I remembered that Malcolm in The Sims 2 is Malcolm Landgraab the 4th. So there's this whole family tree with the Landgraabs. I gave Malcolm a really simple makeover. I thought, how would Nancy dress him? And so I put, you know, his sportswear and, you know, white tee and shorts and just a really simple swimwear, and quite similar to his father in regards to the sweater and shirt. I think it's a very posh style. So that sums it all up for now. I really hope you enjoyed this makeover. Don't forget to stay tuned for a day in the life of the Landgraabs, where I play with this family and find out a little bit more about them. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like the video, comment on what you've enjoyed, or even if you haven't enjoyed it, and of course subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye.